you also have to put aside time to play it. It is complex enough that really you only need a book, D100 dice, which is, two 10-sided, ones is the 10s, one is the 1s.
It has often been said, mostly by those who have little stake in this game, that when one has a hammer, everyone's teeth look like nails.
Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey smokes. Oy vey, yesterday was certainly a day when I was dealing with just my head being a mess. After all, I mentioned how the death of my hamster was fine. Hamsters die, but it represented metaphorically so much more inside of my head. I was just a mess yesterday. I got therapy today. I'm going to talk that over with my therapist. I'm feeling kind of better today, but time does not heal wounds. Time just puts distance between you and wounds so they appear smaller. So I just needed some time, and I've had that time, and yay! So, front-loading of videos, hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, any comment, even for the algorithm, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people who help keep me literally alive with the rising cost of living and my disability staying flat. Oy vey, without these people's help, I would literally be on the streets, and that would suck. So thank you very, very much. And if you would like to help me stay alive, I do have links to the Patreon in the video description, along with a PayPal for any possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link if you could check that out, and of course a post office box where if you send me anything at all, even just a postcard, I'll show that off on camera if anyone bothers to do so. So thumbs up and front loading of videos over. Hey, yeah, boy oh boy, it was definitely time. I mean, when it brought stuff up about my wife, I mean, with my various issues, my ADHD, where I am on my own particular autism spectrum, and all things like this, I have an out of sight, out of mind mentality. It's very, very strong. And there are days when I just feel like I have been single my whole life, and I can't even feel or remember the times that I was married. There are more days than that where it's just, it feels like the last time I talked to Jennifer was yesterday. And it's just incomprehensible and doesn't make sense that she's gone. And everything is just fresh and new. So I never know what's going to happen, and especially when these things get dragged forcibly up out of the depths of where my mind has put them for the moment. Oy, that can be very painful. So I'm going to talk about that with my therapist, and I tried to be as creative as possible yesterday while out on walkies. I did think of some things. Largely, I have forgotten. I mean, my ADHD. I mean, I've mentioned before, people say, you should take a pen and paper with you so you can write stuff down. Well, number one, I have to remember to take pencil and paper with me. And if I do that, I have to remember to write stuff down. And if I do write stuff down, I would have to remember to look at the pencil and paper pad again to find out what I wrote. That's a whole bunch of steps that will break down. I have tried it, and with so many breakdown points, it never lasts. So, yay. Still though, life is life. But past that, I did have some sleeping issues yesterday, and so I kept falling asleep. I was trying to record something for the channel, whether it be just another game like I've been doing with the solo pen and paper stuff, or it's some, video game for the channel. I mean, it's never going to do anything. My channel is going to just continue to slowly fail, but that's not my channel thing. I was watching another video once again on, this person was talking about dead channels and dying channels, and one of the things that happens is a natural thing on YouTube because of the algorithms is if any of your videos get lesser views, then the algorithm will show your videos to fewer people because fewer people watch them, therefore it's not going to advertise you as much. So now that you're advertised less, you get fewer viewers. And because you've got fewer viewers, you get fewer advertisements to, let people know your channel's there. No lesser putting you, I can't speak English, my sincere apologies. You're not going to be on any of the recommended lists because your channel doesn't get views. Partially because you're not being recommended. But that's a spiral. That's why you've got the big channels that, they've got 15, 20 million subscribers and they get like 800,000 views. Well, as soon as they had one video that didn't perform as well as the others, they got recommended a little bit less, which meant slightly fewer viewers, which meant slightly less recommendation, which meant, their channels aren't dying. They're doing great, comparative. But when you're a smaller channel like mine, oh boy. Life is life, though. Still, I enjoy playing the video games, and I enjoy playing the solo RPG stuff, and I will continue to do things because I need habit and routine in my life to form a skeleton to put the rest of things on. Form and structure from an otherwise formless and structureless life. Thumbs up for that. So that's what's been going on mentally. But I'm going to check down here on my list because I also have it written down. It's for the first 2 years of the pandemic, I felt I was doing pretty good mentally, even as other YouTube people were breaking down because of isolation, etc., and having a lot of mental health issues. Now that people's mental health is getting better because they're out mingling and getting like the covfefe bug because they're not taking precautions anymore. Their mental health anyway is doing better. We have flattened the covfefe bug curve. It's on its way to be a minor thing instead of a huge killing machine, but it's still out there. But now that everyone's getting better, I'm falling apart, so yay! Also on my list, I did want to talk about this. I have been asked, I think it was Jesse Koskinen asked, which game do I like better so far, Note Quest or For Against Darkness? The thing is, they are roughly the same thing. They're a solo fantasy RPG type thing, but the focus is very, very different. With Note Quest, it is fast. You just roll a couple dice, you got a character, and then you just flip open these 2 pages and you're there. You never have to go away from those 2 pages unless you have questions that need to be answered. But generally it's on those 2 pages, and then you just roll dice, go, and then it runs. You can set yourself up really fast, get going, and it's a fast, fun little thing. Your character never gets better. There is no leveling up. There is no characteristics to get better. There is nothing that will make your character better. You do get more equipment. You get more spells. So you can get better equipment. You can get better armor. You're going to have, like, one of the only things that saved me on my last adventure is my character didn't get better, but I had a machete that would heal me 1 point every time I made an attack. That saved my character. You get better equipment so that you can fight better to take on bigger things to get better equipment. You don't get better, your equipment does. For Against Darkness takes more time to set up. You have 4 characters and they take a little bit more extra work, but it's just copy the thing that's in the book onto a piece of paper. But then from there, you've got to start taking a lot more care because your characters can get better. There is more math. There's more taking care of things. The dungeons are far, far more complex, though less themed. In the Note Quest book, you have each dungeon has its own 2-page spread, so they are themed. If it's a mushroom village, you're only going into a mushroom village, which is different from going into a sanctuary, which is different from going into an old mine, which is different from. Each 2-page spread is themed. For Against Darkness, no theming. But you can make For Against Darkness as complex as you want. You only need the original book to play. There are a ton of supplements adding optional rules and characters, so you can make it very complex or only minor league complex. You don't take as much care of your characters. The party is more important, not the individuals. But if you're into something that takes a little more time, a little more paperwork, getting you a little more invested in groups, then that's fun. It doesn't take a ton of time to get set up either, but there is more work. You will be flipping through a lot of pages. You're not going to be just on 2. D100 Dungeon. I really like that game. You also have to put aside time to play it. It is complex enough that really you only need a book, D100 dice, which is, 2 10-sided, ones is the 10s, one is the 1s, and pencil and paper, character sheet, and you're ready to play. But it is in depth. Yes, you just have, the characters are simple to start with. You've only got like X number of points to spend, but each stat can only go so high. So then there are only 3 stats, so it's pretty simple to make up a character, but you have to roll on charts to see what equipment you have. And then you write down each little thing because all of your equipment has hit points. And each of the skills you have has experience, so your skills level up independently. And you have to eat, and you rest, and combat is complex, and you are flipping through a million charts. Because when you roll to go into a new room, you have to roll to see what the room is. And then there's a specific chart that you look up to write down what that room is. But then you roll for various content, so you flip to another chart, and you rolled for this, and you flip to another chart. It is constant flipping, looking through charts, doing paperwork type stuff. But if you're into that, which I am, I love it. It sounds much more complex than it is. It is pretty fast moving, but it is a time investment. It's something that if you have 2 or 3 hours set aside to play, that is a good thing to play. If you have just an hour to play, then 4 Against Darkness is great. If you just want to set something up really fast and go because you got 10 minutes to spare, throw down Note Quest, even the Expanded World. It's deeper and more complex, but it's not as complex as a lot of other things. It's still very simple. And again, price-wise, basic Note Quest, free. Now, I don't know if it's free, or if it's pay what you want, free, where you can pay what you want up to $0. So you can pay $0 on pay what you want. So it's free to get the first book, the basic stuff. You had pay just $2 American to get the entire Expanded World, which adds a lot more dungeons, which adds an overworld, which adds hex crawling. There's a lot of stuff that you get for $2. So if you just want something fast, then Note Quest. If you want something that takes a little bit more work, but isn't an all-day thing, 4 Against Darkness. If you want to spend an afternoon, D100 Dungeon. So that's the way that you should look at that, and I love them all. I've been downloading a lot of other free RPGs, and I want to get like maybe 1, possibly 2, but no more than that, paid for type games, bigger type expenditures, not because I want to spend money, but because they tend to be more in depth. Now, past that, I don't want to go, because if you get too much, and that includes me, that's choice paralysis, and you'll find that you're going to be playing everything else and never this thing. There's one fellow who has a channel called Dungeon Dive. Yeah, that's what it is. He has a whole bunch of board games and periodically goes through and gets rid of the ones that he just doesn't play. And otherwise, you're just keeping them around and it's just gathering dust. So I'm going to get maybe one or two more, and then that's it, because any more than that, I'll just stop playing some of the others, and I don't want to do that. Now, the free things are generally like 1 or 2 page rules, and so it's not a huge expenditure of time, of effort, of thinking and remembering, and so they're fun. Just don't go overboard any more than I have done, or you're just going to collect, hoard, and do nothing with them. They'll just be digital files clogging up your hard drive. Yay! Still though, let me check here. I do have therapy today, so that's going to be good. And past that, I don't really have anything written down. I have forgotten a lot of what I've been talking about last night. I do want to have some mix between the two settings that I have, because while they are separate, they're still the same thing. With the whole inside-outside Razor's Edge, yeah, if you've got the site, you're one of the approximately 2% of people that can access this stuff. If you've got Cryptid Vision, you're about 2% of that. Of these two groups, it's only about 2% of the smaller amount that has the extra thing, which is why Trevor Savick, who is from the inside, well, he's from the Razor's Edge, also has Cryptid Vision and hangs around with the dark cryptids at Khmer Rouge Manor, because it's like home. At home, the risk of being eaten is always in, well, if you're on the inside, it's always in the top 15 reasons, occasionally jumps up into the top 10. If you live on the Razor's Edge, it's always in the top 10, sometimes in the top 3, and during really big bad times, it's caused in the top 3 causes of death on the Razor's Edge. So hanging around the dark cryptids where they just devour human beings on a fairly regular basis, yeah, it feels like home. The only thing is, of course, it's so much nicer here in the cryptid world in Brookerton, because all the corpses get sent off to Khmer Rouge Manor, where the court and King Mike is, because he eats all the corpses. Whereas on the Razor's Edge in the inside, you're always running across the corpse. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of predators. You can run across 40 human corpses in a day, and none of your friends, family, or the place that you live in is going to have gotten hurt, because there are a near infinite amount of people living just in the Razor's Edge alone. And it too is packed with predators. And while very, very few of them predate on human beings alone, human beings are opportune prey. We're just a stray bit of protein here and there. And even without critters that'll munch on you, it's just a dangerous place. There's a multitude of things that will take out an organic being if they are not careful. So yeah, you're coming across up to 40 corpses in a day, and it doesn't mean anything. You're normalized to it. You don't notice normal. You only notice when normal isn't anymore. So if you find more than 40 corpses or less than 4 in a day, that sticks out. But in the cryptid world, yeah, King Mike has said, if you kill someone, send the corpse to me if you're not going to eat it. If you do eat someone and there's stuff left over, send it to me. And then, so there's not always running across the corpse. There's not always finding that smell of decay everywhere. Everything is still joyous and pleasant, but when you get close to a corpse, well, rotting meat does have a very distinctive scent. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce your username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, you've already seen how my brain works. So let me call on my Chrome. We have Jacob Alexandria, thumbs up, thank you. And I intend to continue uploading as long as I can. Jesse Koskinen, thank you very, very much. Hamsters die, it's what they do, but it still hurts. So you take care and thank you. Good to see you. JAYY, thank you very, very much. And yeah, poor little ghost, but thank you very, very much. It is appreciated and good to see you. Cake, greatly appreciated. And he had a good life aside from, the painful end, but that the painful end doesn't invalidate the good parts at front. So that part's good. That wasn't quite English, but hopefully you understood what I was trying to say. Sebastian Ferris, why yes, I do use Google Translate myself. Confused L29, thumbs up, thank you. Good to see you in the comments. We have Adrian FNTES, and hey, I understand if you're busy and stuff. It's just good if you come back, but I understand being busy, no fear there. Vortex, thumbs up, thank you, greatly appreciated. Ben B, greatly appreciated and good to see you as well. Potatotron, it does suck, but good to see you as well. Ice Damon, thumbs up, thank you very, very much, good to see you as well. Jamie's Division, good to see you in the comments as well. And there is Chris, thumbs up, thank you much, good to see you in the comments. Flora Mew, good to see you in the comments as well. I've got all sorts of things that I've got to fight with my brain. I do want to reply to your comments. I'm just my brain. Yay! And that is it. 14 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated. You get me out of my brain into the world, dealing with real people, if only for a short time, and if only in text. Greatly appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. As stated, I got therapy today, and hokey smokes, I mean, I've got stuff pulled up and still clogging up my head from my hamster dying. I got therapy today, which always pulls stuff up. I do want to record something for the channel, even if it's just solo RPG or something else. We shall see. But I'm going to do what I can. I want you to do what you can, whatever it is. If it's just survival, thumbs up. If it's anything more, thumbs up. And of course, with all the diseases and horrors in the world, just take appropriate precautions for your area. You don't need to get sick. You don't need to get hurt. You don't need to make other people sick or hurt. Just please be smart and be careful. And I'm sorry, but if you hear the mournful howl of that bus that has your name on it, the horn blaring through the streets at night, echoing through the fog, you're going to get smeared. I'm sorry. Hopefully it won't hurt much, but it's really not going to be pretty. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.